Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. In this video, I have kind of a lot to go over. Let's just jump right into it.
Let's just jump into this, guys.
So first off here, Apple may be planning to break up iTunes with new music and podcast apps for Mac. So this is coming from Steve Troughton-Smith, who has a pretty good track record actually. So this is something to definitely take into consideration. And he basically said that he thinks Apple is going to launch separate apps for the Mac for music, podcasts, and books and apps on macOS. So separate apps for each of these services suggest that Apple is planning to break up the iTunes app for Mac, which is where podcasts, movies, and TV shows are available at the current time. So this is something we'll have to kind of keep our eye on. Obviously, he said grain of salt and didn't really make public what evidence he's going off of, but I do trust this guy for the most part. So we'll keep our ears to that, and I will let you guys know if anything else comes up. Next up, this is something that really hasn't happened in history that I can think of for an Apple product, but Apple has dropped the HomePod price to $299 down from $349. So it was up at a hefty $350, which, oh my gosh, I can't imagine anyone paying that much for that speaker. Now the sound quality on it is phenomenal. Every single review I've heard has been very, very positive, but these things are just not selling, especially at that price point. If you take away the smart aspect of it, even though it's Siri, it's not that smart anyway, it's a phenomenal speaker. So if you want one, you guys can get one for $50 off. And I know like Best Buy also had a deal on them, so you guys can check them out as well. Now here are some juicy rumors. The alleged 2019 iPhone rear chassis appears on Chinese social media with triple lens camera markings. So you guys can see here, we seem to get these every year, some dude in a car chilling with some piece of an iPhone over in China. So this one here, you guys can clearly see the cutouts. It appears that this top one is bigger, and then this one's like a medium size and this one's smaller. It might just be the angle of it, hard to say. And then we've got the flash and then the microphone right here, I think. That's what it should be. I'm not really sure what this is for. Could just be a screw or something. You can see the big wireless charge port and the other cutouts as well. So this, obviously, it could easily be faked. The Chinese factories can easily mock one of these up. It's super easy. But again, if we do want to take this at face value, it's just signals for that design. Now, someone actually had a genius idea because this looks incredibly ugly, especially on the white one. I have the white iPhone right now. I thought the stoplight design was ugly, but this just takes the cake. That is terrible. Looks so bad. I would definitely be getting the black one if they do this because I want to hide that. That just looks like an eyesore. But with that said, someone thought, what if this isn't actually a bump? What if they're making this flush with the back of the phone? Now that would actually be pretty cool. Don't know if they could do that, but if they could, that would look so much better because then all of this could be the color of the phone. Unless they fill this in somehow, I don't know. But I can't imagine Apple actually shipping something like this. Now that I see it mocked up, it just doesn't look right. But Apple's done crazier things in the past, like killing off AirPower after hyping it up for 2 years. All right, so this is some bad news here. Apple's plans to release 5G iPhone in 2020, which by the way is not this year's iPhone, that's next year, could be stymied by Intel delays. So Intel is notorious for having delays on almost all of their chips. It's just ridiculous. Obviously, Apple can't go with Qualcomm because they're in a legal battle. So Apple is up against a wall here. If Intel can't get this chip done, I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, they're not going to put 5G chips in this year's iPhone. Verizon just unveiled their 5G network in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and in Chicago. So 5G is actually starting to roll out. Now, there are a lot of controversies around it, like it's going to microwave us to death and radiate our skin and all this stuff. Let's put aside the 5G health risks first and just understand that this is starting to roll out, but it's in very small areas. Right now, there's only like one phone that can support Verizon's 5G, and it's the Moto Z3, I think. And you have to have the Moto mod for the 5G. My point is, this is not rolled out yet. So if Apple skips this year with the 5G chip, which is like 90%, we're 90% sure they're not going to do it. They could be okay with that. But if they can't do it by 2020, that's going to be a huge, huge problem for Apple. Apple will be so far behind at that point by like September of 2020. That's a year and a half away if they can't do this. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do it, but I think 5G is going to be widespread at that point. Assuming people don't, put blocks on 5G because of its health risks and health concerns, Apple will be pretty far behind. So let me know your guys' thoughts on 5G as well. I know a lot of people have concerns with it, and the more I look into it, the more I think, hey, this could be an issue. But let me know your guys' thoughts, especially on this design too. If you guys think Apple's really going to release something that looks like that, let me know. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked it, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.